Is there no audio to the game? Oh, because I muted in the volume mixer, didn't I? That would explain it. Now there's wave sound effects. And I could very, very slightly hear the sounds of me moving the cursor over the over this stuff here. So it is currently the 13th of April, right towards the end of the day here. It's 9:30 p.m. local time. Today is when season 2 of The Last of Us show started airing, and that's probably why the game released on PC when it did. Kind of same with part 1 on PC, where it released right around the same time as the show, so that it's available for more people to play, right as more people are kind of getting their eyes on The Last of Us because of the show and all that stuff. And hello, Kaiser Frederick. I almost said Kaiser. There. If you really got an ad for The Last of Us Season 2 trailer before watching this stream, then that's, that is certainly fitting there. So, I just watched the first episode of Season 2. It is a decent bit different from the show, from the game here. Hope they make a Bloodborne show, then one can hope. I never did an upgrade here. Was there a specific upgrade I wanted? Did I do an upgrade and then it just didn't save? I thought I upgraded my bow or something. Did it not save that? Something or other? Hope things are going well today, False Souls. I think I did the stability or something here. Add a rangefinder to automatically mark the distance of enemies on the reticle. I think I've, since the last stream, seen some clips of this where it shows, like, the actual marker of where you're aiming and it, like, moves it down. If that's what this upgrade is, to show, like, the exact height that you need to account for, which would really help me out and probably help me more than stability. So, screw, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try this thing. I'm pretty sure I upgraded the other thing, and I think it undid that, because maybe it didn't properly save, but, like, hey, whatever. Imagine if it didn't save the guys that I fought here, and then I had to redo that. Okay, I've scoped my bow. Okay. So, like, when aiming at an enemy, an additional marker will show the exact range of the enemy on the reticle. Okay. Well, I'll try it out here. What have I got? I've got one arrow. Here, let's have this. I don't have the most resources because, like, grounded mode and all that. We could have just chatted out with these guys. We didn't have to be enemies, but, like, we went and fought and stuff, and why can't we pick some tomatoes for the... Are those strawberries? What kind of strawberry grows like that? Wait, am I seeing this right? Wait a second. Is this what they think strawberry plants look like? Is that a different fruit or something? Because that... The leaves look like strawberry plant leaves, the flowers look like strawberry plant flowers, and those look like strawberries. I mean, maybe there's some weird varieties of strawberry that grow like that. I've never seen a strawberry plant like that in my life. I'm now realizing. That is a weird strawberry plant that they probably didn't think that anyone would look too close at. Or maybe there's actually, like, strawberry plants like that. There's all sorts of weird varieties of different plants and stuff. I grow white strawberries in my garden, not red strawberries. And they're so sweet. They're so delicious. And apparently, from what I've heard, and from the few that I had, like, last year, I've heard that the birds don't eat them because they don't think they're ripe, because they're white, not red, and they wait for them to be red. And that's one of the advantages of white strawberries. I'm pretty sure I went in here, but I guess it didn't save that I went in there. I'm pretty sure that's a thing I did. I gotta remember my controls here. Yeah, I think I made some progress at the end of the last stream by, like, grabbing some stuff around here. I'm hitting the wrong button. I don't know what game I'm getting mixed up with. Yeah, I gotta re-grab things. 0.25 binding. What does that mean? Oh, before I started this stream, I did look through settings to see if there was a way I could move the FPS counter over into this corner instead. I couldn't. I didn't find an option. But I did see a thing for giving me notifications when I pick something up. Because I have auto pickup enabled, so I don't know what the hell I'm picking up a lot of the time. I guess it's that. Yeah. 0.25 explosive. Okay, that's what that is. Yeah, I saw that in settings and I was like, you know, I might just like that. So I enabled it, and that's what it looks like then. I gotcha. I gotcha. I don't remember what's all in here, but something that I need. I don't think that this led to, like, a safer... Wait, there was a safe in here that it must not have saved that I got. Gosh dang it. It's the anniversary date, I'm pretty sure. And then I don't remember what's in the save. Why did it save that I got those things? I swear I got those things last stream. So let's see here. The 8th of October 2013 is what it is. I don't remember where the note is that says that's anniversary, but like, hey, you know how it be and stuff. Let's see here. The 8th, oh my god, of October, which is going to be the 9th month. Wait, am I losing my mind? That's gonna be the 10th month. I was trying to go back, but I wasn't sure how to go back. 8, 10, 10. This game has gotten like 2 patches since it came out. And I see that they still haven't fixed this issue. Oh my god. 10, damn it. I wanted it to click twice there. Oh, 10, 13, or 17, or something, I think. I don't know. Dang it. 13, I'm thinking of the employee of the month dog, I think. Was this 17? No, everything is 13. Okay. I started second guessing myself because I was like, I'm getting mixed up with the employee of the month. But I guess that's just when everything kind of went to shit in the Last of Us world. Please go to 8, actually. Please. Oh, there we go. And then 13. Alright. 13, 10, 8. I know I did this at the end of the last stream. Why didn't it save it? Dang it. Oh my god.
That was right.
And I'm pretty sure I ran into something dumb here. And oh, it was the whole 30 years ago thing. I remember now. I think I Googled it. And it was like the whole 30 years ago thing. So, it was... Oh my god. Just go to 8, damn you. I hate this so much. How have they not patched this? This should be an easy thing to patch. Am I the only one running into this issue? I swear, I'm literally just barely tapping my keyboard. And it goes 2, not 1. Come on. Just a... Last of Us Part 2 on PC, everyone. Do I need to plug in a controller and do this with controller? Oh my... Where did I put my cable? This game friggin' sucks, man. Wait, I advanced. I must have hit spacebar by accident. This friggin' video game. What the heck? I do not remember ever having this issue on PlayStation. Though, I guess I never really opened a safe in like my casual file there, so I guess I wouldn't really know. Controller. DualSense, like this game was originally designed for. Back. There. 8. Well, 10. And then 30 years ago from 13 is going to be 83. The bite of 83. That's what it was. Okay, I'm going back to mouse and keyboard controls. Okay. Revolver ammo, shotgun ammo. Put the controller back. I don't need it anymore. Oh, freaking safes just don't work with keyboard in this game for some reason. It is so dumb. I don't think there's anything that I have to load into the shotgun. Like, I can try, but yeah, that's gonna be fully loaded. I don't quite have the full revolver. I guess you just call the revolver part of the revolver. But I'm pretty close. I'm 1 bullet away, and then I'll be full. So, anyway, I just finished watching episode 1 of The Last of Us Season 2. I wanted to watch that before I did this stream. I certainly have some thoughts on it. There are some things that I prefer about the game so far, some things that I prefer about the show so far. I think there's probably more things that I prefer about the show so far in comparison to the game for, like, this opening thing. First of all, before I talk about, like, the episode itself, one thing that I thought was, yeah, because I guess it didn't save that anything was fluid here, that I thought was interesting is I had heard somewhere that apparently, that there was going to be a 3rd season. That they already have plans for a 3rd season. And I was like, what? And I looked that up and confirmed it. And it seems like the events of The Last of Us Part 2 are actually going to be the show Season 2 and Season 3. So I want 3 seasons for this story. And if they're splitting this game into 2 seasons, then I already know exactly where they're going to end Season 2. There's no doubt in my mind. I know where they're ending Season 2. And it's probably not going to be a very satisfying time at all, let's say. It's already kind of unsatisfying enough in the game as is, and I feel like splitting it with the multiple seasons is going to make people frustrated, most likely. Once all the episodes are out and you can just keep on watching, then it won't be as big a deal. Then it'll just be as big of an issue as it is in the game, where you can keep on playing, but, like, You know, I'm trying to like skirt around this topic, sort of talk about it without getting into spoilers in case anyone is being exposed to like the story of this game for the first time through this, you know. I hate being sick. I know the feeling, Redora Master. It sucks. Hope you feel better soon. I assume that means you're sick. I could be making assumptions here, but I think that that is probably a fair assumption. I could probably go out the window there. But is there going to be anything that I lured here that it didn't save or anything? Yeah, so I came in this way originally. Did it?
They got in here.
What? There was dialogue for getting in here, but it doesn't look like there's anything else to grab around here. So, my biggest complaint with the game story is the pacing slash just like the order that they tell the story. I think that, oh look, there was more stuff around here. I think that the order in which they tell the story is really, really bad because the game, you've already seen a decent bit in the game, so this isn't spoilers even at this point. There's a lot of flashback sequences. It's like you do a section of the game, then flashback sequence, then a section of the game, then flashback sequence, then a section of the game, then flashback sequence. So it's like you do a bunch of the game, then it's 4 years ago, then a bunch of the game, then it's 3 years ago, then a bunch of the game, then it's 2 years ago, whatever the heck, stuff like that. And it really takes the wind out of my sails pacing wise in terms of like my investment in what's going on. Some of the flashbacks I think like are really cool story stuff that does complement the story well, like the whole bit with the museum and stuff like that. That whole little adventure there, it plays very well thematically into like the overall theme of the story. But you know, it kind of takes the wind out of my sails for what was going on before, and all the back and forth just kind of makes things confusing. Like, here's The Last of Us Part 1, here's The Last of Us Part 2, and then everything in the middle, you're gonna get, like, peppered around all of Part 2. And, you know, piece it together as you're being drip-fed bit by bit, and it's just kind of annoying, I feel like, and makes it kind of harder to follow. With Season 2 of the show, with Episode 1 so far, a lot of the flashback sequences, they actually just straight up did in Episode 1 of Season 2, just so that it can be done, like, in chronological order at the time. They didn't do all of them, like, ones like the museum, since that's even further back. They didn't do that, so I assume ones like that, they'll save for, like, further on into the show. But all the ones that happen, like, shortly before the events of the game, like, Ellie going sniping with Tommy, like, sniping some far-off zombies and learning how to use the scope, that's done in Episode 1 of the show. The whole dance hall scene, which we've heard about a bunch up until this point in the game, with the stuff with Dina and what's-his-face that was, like, the super bigot and stuff like that. It's probably not too spoilery to say that, like, we'll get that scene in a flashback later in the game, and, like, much later, if memory serves. It's just done in Episode 1 of the show. So it actually builds up, like, proper context a lot better for, like, the atmosphere, the kind of tension between Ellie and Joel. Just like the game, the show does not share at the beginning whether Ellie knows that Joel went and killed all the fireflies and stuff. But it feels a lot more evident in the show. They made some changes, like they made some additions, the biggest of which I feel like is the fact that Joel has a therapist in Jackson, and he's kind of talking to about how he feels distant from Ellie and like he's not quite relating to her. And another thing that they wrote into the show is that he feels a lot closer with Dina, that she's the one that's being all supportive of him and he can chat freely with and stuff like that. And she's kind of acting more like his daughter than Ellie is. And what's up with that? He wants to be closer with Ellie. It doesn't make any sense. So chatting about that with the therapist.
Fuck.
And then there's a really good scene with the therapist where she's like, hey, let's stop bullshitting here and telling you the same old that's making no progress, and we actually just be honest with one another. And she's like, I think this is it. Watch for big red sign. Lake Hill, Seattle Hospital. And she vents to him about how she kind of hates Joel because he killed her husband, Eugene, apparently. And I was like, wait, I don't actually remember Eugene from this, or like part 1. Just outside of like the fact that he was mentioned in this game as the one that had like the whole weed operation and stuff, and that was as far as like his narrative purpose served. So in the middle of watching the show, I'm looking it up on my phone, like, who the hell was Eugene? And I confirmed that, yeah, he doesn't actually appear in this game, he's only mentioned in this game, and he's one of the few people that died from natural causes in the apocalypse. You know, just getting to be that kind of age and stuff. So it didn't really seem like he had much importance in the game here, considering it's just like, yeah, he's the one that ran the weed operation and led to like the whole scene with Ellie and Dina because of that. But you never actually see him. You just know that he was an ex-Firefly and stuff. So when the show name dropped him and established that he was the husband of this therapist who's like a new character introduced to this story, I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Because she's like, I still resent you, Joel, for killing my husband, Eugene. I know you did what you had to, but I still kind of hate you for it. I was like, wait, Joel killed Eugene? What? And yeah, looking it up, confirming it in the games, I guess Eugene just kind of died from a heart attack, it was saying. So, it's been a couple of years since I watched The Last of Us Season 1, but maybe Eugene was like a character in Season 1 of the show, and like, Joel killed him or something like that? I genuinely do not remember. I would probably have to rewatch Season 1 of the show. I don't remember how I get down here, and I think that stumped me when I played this game casually before as well. So, I guess Eugene was a character in Season 1 from Jackson, and Joel killed him or something. Maybe he was bitten and he had to turn, and like, so he had to be shot. So that's why the therapist was like, hey, I know you did what you had to, but I still kind of hate you for it. So I don't know. Maybe Eugene was in Season 1. I don't remember him from part 1, like the game. I don't remember him from the show. It has been a long time since seeing Season 1, but apparently Joel killed Eugene in the TV show timeline, unlike the game timeline. I don't remember what I do here, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I can drop down that. I'm pretty sure there is a path here, but I just don't remember what the hell it is. Maybe I, like, slide between here. Will the game let me do that? Oh, the game will let me do that. Okay, yeah, that is exactly what I do. I'm not used to games letting me do that. I'm used to there being invisible walls and stuff. Okay, cool. But anyway, there was this interesting conversation where she's like, hey, I kind of, hate you for that, but I'm still here willing to have this conversation and talk things out with you and, you know, see a potential future and not, you know, constantly want to have it out for you or anything like that. So that's me being honest. Now it's your turn. Did you do something to Ellie? And, like, he nods his head. And, did you hurt her? And he shakes his head. And she's like, what did you do? And he's, like, hesitating to say it and stands up. And I was like, I know he's gonna say, I saved her. Like, I'm waiting for it. And then after he stood up, I was like, oh, well, maybe he's not gonna say it. And then he says, I saved her. I was like, okay, yeah, that's exactly what I thought he was gonna say. I figured that. And then he storms off. But it actually made, like, kind of an interesting dynamic where it's like, for what Joel did to the Fireflies, there's reason for Ellie to kind of have it out for him and kind of resent him for that. But that's probably the way to progress, so I want to find my way into that other door first. So I thought that by Ellie having, like, a reason to resent Joel, but, like, still wanting to find, like, way forward or something like that, this is stuff that's going to be touched on later in the game. Spoilers, I guess. But, then the therapist at the beginning of the story being like, hey, I have reason to have it out for you, but we're being honest about this, we're chatting, and, like, I'm still willing to, like, find the way forward with you and stuff like that. I think I just gotta do this. I'm sorry, Brick. Whee! Oh, look, I got more throwable stuff here anyway. Pretty sweet. I thought that it made for an interesting parallel and a nice little addition to the story there. So, I did like that. I like that addition. A single scrap! Ooh, some more scraps. 7 parts. Okay. Yeah, so I know exactly how many I'm picking up. Give me that ultra rare Charizard. PSA 10. Alright, so yeah, there was a few things here at least. I had to trade my brick for a bottle, but I got other things here, like a few scraps, so hey. There's that. So I like that. I really, really liked, as I was mentioning before, how, like, the pacing seems to be better sorted out with the flashbacks that happened just before the story. Yeah, we're gonna do that, like, right in episode 1. So I thought that, like, Joel was gonna die at the end of episode 1. He doesn't. Like, the squad with, like, Abby and the other members of WLF there are just, like, approaching at the end of the episode. So I guess Joel's probably gonna die in episode 2 in that case. They actually spent a lot of time on episode 1, like, building up, like, the current status of, Joel and Ellie's relationship and doing some of these things that were flashback scenes in the original game. And I really, really like that, because I kind of hated the back and forth of this game. And, like, just do stuff in order. Like, maybe they did the order that they did for the game for, like, a better gameplay experience, so it's, like, you're more in the action. Because if we're doing, like, a whole bunch of, like, non-action-based things around Jackson, then, like, you know, maybe that'd be really boring gameplay-wise, is what they thought from, like, a video game perspective. So, but in a show, like, you don't necessarily need that anyway. Like, I mean, the action is always nice and stuff, but you don't need it as much as in a video game, so maybe that was the reason for that. I appreciate the 100 bits there, Anima.
Eugene death is unclear in the show because it said that he either died of stroke, infected, natural causes.
Oh, once again, greatly appreciate the 100 bits. In the show, you're saying? Or in the game here? Because in the show, after just watching episode 1, like, I might have to rewatch it, you know? I just watched it kind of, like, one way through and then came to stream here shortly after. But I'm pretty sure the therapist is like, hey, I hold that against you, Joel, because you killed Eugene. And I was like, what? Joel killed Eugene? So, okay, game, my bad. So maybe that was a thing that happened in season 1 of the show, and I... Oh, that was another thing that happened in the show, was they introduced stalkers. So, stalkers were in part 1, were in the first game, but I guess maybe they weren't in season 1 of the show, because the season 1 of the show, or episode 1 of the show, I should say, introduces stalkers like they're a brand new threat and something that, like, the characters have never seen before. Like, here's a Zambo that's actually, like, thinking and pursuing you and stuff like that. I assume that he's not actually around here because I don't hear him. I assume that was just, like, you know, see him, he goes around the corner, he despawns, and then he'll, like, spawn in properly for real sometime later in the level. I assume it's one of those video game moments, and I'm just, like, good for now to keep on properly exploring without worrying about him jumping me, probably. I'll still be a little bit wary just in case.
Not good.
So yeah, I did like the kind of fixes to doing stuff, like, earlier on instead of in flashback sequences. I don't think that we're going to get all the flashbacks that we got in the game. So, for example, the flashback that we got where Joel and Ellie go through the hotel building because they need to go get, like, new guitar strings. I don't think that one's gonna happen in the show, because there's a scene where Joel comes into, like, Ellie tinkering away in the garage, and, he picks up the guitar, and he's like, oh, these strings are a little bit worn. I'll get you some new strings. I'm taking the guitar, and, leaves, and Ellie's like, oh, no, you don't have to do that, but he's gone before she can get more words in, so... I assume that's, like, the nod to that flashback sequence, but we're not actually gonna do that flashback sequence in the show. That was just the acknowledgement of it as we need to get new strings. So, probably gonna skip that one, and probably gonna do the stuff about, like, am I really are there really other people that are immune? And there really was nothing that you could do and stuff like that? Is gonna be for, like, a different flashback sequence. I would presume here. Okay, yeah, I did figure it. Yeah, so the other guy did definitely despawn there before. Alright, well, that's gonna suck a little bit. I kinda hate stalkers. They're the worst. And yeah, now they're gonna be in the show. So that's certainly something. A blade. So I'm gonna be listening for any scuttling and stuff around here. So yeah, I'm sure that there will probably still be, like, more flashback sequences of some sort. We'll see what ones they end up doing for that. Another thing that I really like about the show, Abby's motivations are pretty clear, like, right from the beginning. So, like, it kind of opens up the episode, like, right where season 1 left off, where it's like, swear to me everything you said about the Fireflies was true, I swear, and stuff. That whole thing. And then, ooh, I saw you there. Ooh, I saw you. And then the next scene that we go to is Abby and her whole group kind of mourning over the Fireflies. Is that spoilery to say, considering it hasn't revealed that in the game yet, that they're associated with the Fireflies, that they're part of that group? Pretty sure I've mentioned it before this point, because, like, even if the game doesn't mention it, it's so obvious. It was literally the climax of, you know, the last game. So, if Abby was someone that wanted revenge against Joel, it wouldn't be for, you know, some random other thing that he did off camera. It'd be for, like, the crazy bloodbath that he did as the climax at the end of the, like, the last game. You know, like, that is just what makes sense. Get your butt over here! I hate you guys so much. But I know how to deal with you, like, after the last game. So, like, you're not as scary anymore. Get your butt over here! Damn you! I don't want to use my bullets on these guys. Like, they shouldn't be too hard to deal with. As long as it's just stalkers and not, like, stalkers and runners or stalkers and clickers or something. Like, I should just be able to keep an eye out for them and, like, counter them when need be. And that was something that I didn't really get about the game, is, like, why keep that a secret? You know, like, I don't really understand it. Like, it feels pretty obvious and would work thematically. Get your butt over there! So, like, when it eventually comes out in the game, it's not like it's some big reveal or anything. It's like, ooh, what a surprise. I never saw that coming. Damn it. I thought there was someone behind me, so I wanted to like turn around and deal with them really quickly, potentially. So I really like that the show makes it clear right from the get-go. Like, it doesn't say exactly what the role in the Fireflies was. Like, it leaves that kind of part as a mystery. But it shows them mourning the Fireflies and, like, someone came here and did this. His name is Joel. And this is a little bit of his description. We need to, like, go find him. So they're not part of the WLF yet. And Owen is like, hey, we should go to Seattle and go join the WLF, like, because we don't have a group of the Fireflies anymore. And they might have resources. Maybe we can get a lead there. And Abby's like, are you gonna help me like track him down and kill him? And he's like, yeah, I'll help you do that. She's like, okay, but it's gonna be slow. So like, it makes clear her intentions from the beginning. In the game, she's just kind of this chick that you're playing as that you don't really know what the heck is going on until she dang it. And then dang it, what is my health at? And then she kills Joel, and then you feel kind of betrayed because you were just playing as this character, and you put, like, a certain degree of trust into a character that you're playing as and all that. Did it checkpoint me partway? No, I don't think it did. Yeah, that was where I dropped it. Oh, well, that's fine. It's whatever. So, yeah, I do like that it makes it clear from the get-go, instead of just like, oh, here's this random chick that's approaching Jackson. What are her intentions, I wonder? Oh, she's killing Joel, you know? So, you know, you kind of understand character motivations a little bit better earlier on, and I like that because it feels a little bit more out of the blue in the game. And maybe they did that for like shock value or some such. I don't know, but I prefer the approach of making it clear like right from the get-go in the game, and also showing like how they're like going out to go join the WLF and stuff like that. So I'm liking those aspects of the show a lot more so far. In the game, whenever Abby comes in, the whole community just like, anyone seen with her? I wonder how long this will take. Yeah, I feel like one of the issues of the game, like, sort of spoilers for later on, I won't go into specifics here, but I feel like the game really, really tries to force you liking her, and it's like, I feel like it could feel a bit more natural. I don't know. I'll be able to describe it better when we get to, like, the parts in question, is what I'll probably be able to do. Alright, yeah, you goofy goobers are doing goofy goober things, I know. Do I want to use my bottle? There's probably gonna be something around here. Do I wanna? Screw it, get bottled, I don't care. Dang it, is my health just like really low? Okay, I can take one of those. I'm probably one-shottable by literally anything now, I would imagine. Okay. That is what I would estimate here. Was that bottle even all that worth it then? So they blow Joel's brains out episode 1. I thought they would, but they didn't. I was just chatting about how the pacing seems a lot better in the show so far, because a lot of things that were flashbacks in the game are just done during episode 1. So episode 1 takes a decent bit more time, and it ends with like Abby's group approaching Jackson. And, you know, seemingly there's some threat about like a whole bunch of Zambos coming and stuff like that. Is where episode 1 leaves off. Because it took a whole bunch of time to do what was previously flashback things. Yeah, they're actually fixing pacing issues. So I'm starting to think that like the show might end up being like better storytelling wise in the game. And I am actually kind of really looking forward to seeing what the show does next here. Dang it, I'm bad at video games. Maybe I should just use a health kit there. Eat one hit and then use a health kit if my health is that low anyway. Probably not a bad idea. Because I don't really want to use any bullets here. I do want to take time to loot stuff. The stalkers are definitely nowhere near as scary as they were when I played part 1, now that I know how to deal with them. If only I was better at video games and stuff. So yeah, I really like how they're doing that. I really like the additional bit with like Joel going to therapy and stuff. I feel like one of the big issues with the game is you don't really get that much of a sense for like the current status of Joel and Ellie's relationship in the beginning before he meets, you know, his best friend Golfy. But in the show, like, that's kind of what episode 1 is all about, is kind of like the current status of their relationship and how Ellie doesn't really seem to want to be like involved with him and like listen to what he has to say and stuff like that. But I do have some complaints with episode 1, and one of the complaints is it's not just Joel. She seems to be like that with everybody. She actually seems to be like a decent bit of a brat. I'll talk about that in a hot second. Maybe they're gonna release The Last of Us Part 2, the show, the game. I can't wait for that. Is there no Tari? Yeah, I know the second game's gonna be more than one season, so it's definitely pacing better. Yeah, so I feel like they're probably gonna do like a whole bunch of Ellie stuff in season 1 and then a bunch of like Abby stuff in season 2. This is why I feel like it's probably gonna be the case. You better not. Your turn? No, friggin'. I hate you guys so much. Is someone gonna come up behind me or something? Just in case. Oh, that's a window! Oh, that's a window! I can't jump through that. Oh, crap. Okay, so there's 4 of them here. I was trying to dodge there. So it seems like it might be better. But yeah, they, so with Ellie, there's like the whole sniping sequence with Tommy that they just do like at the beginning there rather than sometime later like they did with the game with a flashback sequence. And after the sniping bit, it seems like Ellie has not been on patrol before that point, is the impression I got from episode 1. And Tommy's like, you're gonna be assigned to the wall. And she's like, oh, what a waste, you know, I'm immune and stuff like that. I may as well be out there on the field on patrol. And Tommy's like, hey, we don't talk about that. And then Ellie, being like as rebellious as she is starts screaming out to the whole world like, I'm immune, I'm immune. And Tommy's like, hey, shut up. And I swear, you're just like Joel. I can't, you know, reason things out with you. And she's like, well, if I'm just like him, then you know that you're not winning this. And he's like, fine, like, I'll put you on a patrol, like, with a large group, and, you know, you gotta follow the orders of your squad leader. You think she follows the orders of the squad leader? Because if you guessed hell no, you'd be right. So she gets assigned to this patrol squad in a group of 5, and she has to follow the orders of her squad leader. And as Jesse's giving like the rundown of like the route that they're gonna do and stuff and setting them off, she gives a bit of back sass, and he's like, hey, can you like maybe not do that? There's people that look up to you guys, you know, like what's up with that? Yeah, pacing in The Last of Us 2 is so weird, dude. The game as a whole is odd and just much worse than The Last of Us 1. I agree. I can very much agree with that. I think that they got something like good going on here and that, you know, they were cooking up something good. But I think the way they handled it wasn't very good. So I am hopeful for like the show being better. Like episode 1 already shows they're trying to fix some of the pacing issues. Whoa, you weren't even the one I was trying to attack, honestly. But yeah, so they go on this patrol route, and then as they're patrolling around on their horses, they see that there's like a blood trail going down the way. And from there, the squad leader is like, okay, we should play it safe. Just go back and report this, and like, we'll figure it out. And then Ellie, being Ellie the way she is in the show, just is like, nope, this is what we're out here for. If there's a threat, let's go deal with it. And she zooms down the road, and Dina follows her. So then the squad leader and the other 2 are like, well, we gotta follow them to, you know, make sure that they're safe and stuff like that. Like, we can't just leave them out here to die. So they all have to follow along. And that's where we get, like, the grocery store scene with, like, the Zambos and stuff there is now with, like, this squad, this group. Hi. And in the original game, there was, like, a moose that was killed on the side. In the show, it's a bear. So, you know, something similar, big animal and stuff like that. You better not. I probably don't want to fight this many guys at once, but like, I don't know. Joel hasn't died in the show yet, so we'll see. We'll have to wait until episode 2 next week to find out if Golfy's in the show. Everyone's favorite character. But yeah, they get there, and then the squad leader is like, okay, now we definitely gotta go back and report this. There's some major shit going on here, and, you know, there's probably some that are still, like, alive in that building. And, of course, like, Ellie being the way she is in the show is like, oh, well, this is what we're here for. Let's go in and, like, destroy them. And the squad leader's like, no, like, friggin', we're going back and reporting this. And Ellie's like, well, whether you like it or not, we're going in there. So she and Dina go in there anyway. And the squad leader and the other 2 members are like, oh, well, we'll let them do that. And if they're not out in, like, 5 minutes, we'll go in and help them. They're in there for, like, probably 15 minutes, and they do not go in there. I don't know why. But they're in there for a while. So they go into the store, they deal with a couple clickers with like stealth takedowns. They throw a bottle just like in the game, except they do it in like a weird way. I thought that they were gonna throw the bottle to like lure the clickers over somewhere and then stealth take down them. But let's say the clicker is like right over there at the end there. Ellie wants to go this way to go like melee the clicker. She throws the bottle here. And then she, like, slowly sneaks this way towards the clicker that didn't seem to care about the bottle at all. So I have genuinely no idea what the point of the bottle throw was. She just threw a bottle and it did a thing. And then she has to be, like, careful as she's stepping over the glass that she caused to be on the ground there. So I don't know what the point of that is. And then, like, stealth takes down the clicker and, you know, Dina took out her clicker as well. And, you know, things are A-okay and dealt with there. They've got the 2 dealt with and figured out. And one of the things that, I guess so, want to make it more challenging, but one of the things that surprised me that they had in the show was they had the Employee of the Month area with July 2013 being the dog. Like, it didn't open a safe like in the game here, but they made sure to like have Ellie look over at that and, you know, have the camera focus in on the fact that the dog was like the employee of the month for July. I don't know why, like maybe just like a reminder of the old world and stuff like that, I guess. But I thought it was interesting that like that niche detail was in the show, you know. I was very quite surprised to see that. Heck yeah, I hope he was a manager. So do I. Yeah, I know that there's 2 left here at least. Yeah, could be pretty good. Could be pretty good here. Does the other one want to turn now? Okay, there's 3. I think there's 3 actually, rather than 2 being left. So maybe there's a total of 5 in here. Anyway, I'm just kind of playing this better safe than sorry. So I was surprised that that was in. And then, like, while they're going around and just kind of big chill and being like, hey, we cleared it out. The floor collapses and Ellie falls down to the lower floor. And then Dina's like, hey, I can't jump down there. That's too much of a height. I'll go see about, like, getting some help or finding, like, stairs, another way for you to get out. Can't wait for Abby to shotgun Joel and go chicken jockey. That'll certainly be great there. And Dina asks, like, hey, is there anyone down there? Like, any Zambos? And Ellie's like, nope, it seems like I'm alone. And then Dina's like, hey, stay put. And Ellie's like, okay. And Dina's like, hey, stay put. And then Ellie doesn't stay put, and she explores around the floor, because obviously, lava fungus. Oh my god. Look, everyone's been dying here. So she explores around, and that's where it introduces stalkers. I don't remember much of season 1, like in terms of like the specific Zambos that showed up, because it's been a hot second. Like, this was a couple of years ago that season 1 aired, and then I played part 1. I know that stalkers were in like the first game, but I guess they probably weren't in like season 1 of the show. And when I think about it, I don't remember seeing any stalkers. Like, I could be wrong about that. I thought that, okay. But it seems like season 2 is where stalkers come into play. So they use this as an opportunity to introduce stalkers. So Ellie's like exploring around, and you see like someone crawling in the distance and like darting behind things. And Ellie's like, what the heck? What's going on? And she eventually sees the stalker like peeking out from behind a corner in the distance. And she's like, run at me. Like, run at me. And she's like swearing at the bish. And the stalker is just not running at her. And she's like, what the heck? Why isn't she running at me? So she explores around, and the stalker is making like so many stalker noises and is groaning and grunting like crazy, and she doesn't hear a thing apparently. Get your butt over here. There's more of them in the second half, it looks like. Oh my god. All right. So it's just those many in like the first area, but there's more. Wait, it is an open window? Why couldn't I vault it before? So yeah, and then like the stalker creeps up on her and gets to jump on her. And she actually gets a bit in episode 1 of the show. She gets like a bite on her chest. She's like, oh shit, well, I've been bitten again. So I wasn't expecting that. So like she hides it from Dina and stuff, and then they go and report like their findings of this trip to the council of Jackson and stuff, where they're like, yeah, she's immune, so it's fine. But like, you know, I was like, I wonder what kind of narrative purpose this serves. Like, will it show that she, you know, needs to cover it up or some way? Later on in the episode, she takes a knife to it and basically draws like a slash across the bite mark, so it just looks like a slash, I guess. And at first I thought like, okay, is this meant to be like character development and being like a humbling kind of thing? Like, here she is acting like she's invincible and on top of the world, and very much getting this humbling moment that like, you know, she can get attacked and her life can genuinely be in danger and stuff. Like, is this gonna be like a Legend of Korra like situation where she starts off as like an arrogant bitch but learns to humble herself through like the events? Would that work well with like the whole theme of revenge and stuff like that? And also, like, why would the moment of like needing to humble herself be like right in episode 1 if that's the approach that they're gonna take? So I don't quite understand what the narrative purpose of it is, honestly. You guys want to come over here or something? But it's a thing that happens. Yeah, the main theme of like this game is revenge is bad, like break the cycle, stuff like that. It's probably not too spoilery to say that. So are they going to like try to write in the fact that in episode 1 she seems to be like this arrogant brat that isn't gonna listen to anyone's orders and is gonna like recklessly throw herself into danger and like, you know, face negative consequences because of that? Like, but yeah. Though she's hiding her recklessness, my guess is she's hiding shame? Maybe. I mean, I know that there's like the shame of her life not being meaningful and that she was denied the opportunity to have her life mean that a cure could be made and stuff like that. So maybe she's just being reckless because she's like, screw it, what do I have to live for now? Or something. Maybe that's like the narrative purpose? Like, we'll see. We'll probably have to wait for like future episodes to find out. But yeah, she, in episode 1 here so far, is very, very much a reckless bitch that is not gonna take like anyone's orders. And it's just gonna be like, yeah, I'm doing my own thing, whether you like it or not. And it is kind of really annoying. It doesn't make me like her yet. So, like, maybe they'll make there be like some fascinating character development in some way, and it relates to her character in an interesting way. But right now, she's just kind of an arrogant bitch, but they might just do something with that. Get your butt over here! There are so many of them, holy crap! I'm totally gonna have to use a medkit, aren't I? This is totally too greedy of me, isn't it? Is there a guy behind me? I thought maybe a guy snuck behind me. Oh, I thought maybe. Okay, I can take like 1 hit and then I medkit or something. Yeah, let's see here. Man, if this game has supernatural genre, they can do the Sorrow bit from Metal Gear Solid, all the dead from the first game haunting her. I'll look forward to when I play Metal Gear Solid Delta and I see stuff like that. So yeah, maybe they'll do something interesting in the show with that. Another big difference in episode 1 of the show compared to the game so far is it seems like there is like a genuine major zombie threat to Jackson. Like in the game, there's like the whole horde that goes after Abby and stuff and Joel and Tommy that leads to the whole situation with them needing to kind of band together and all that. Can I interact with that? Why'd it flash? Was that just like the glare of my flashlight, I guess? Hey! Someone jump me! Yeah, they all start coming out now. Now they all start doing that. No one coming from the side or anything? Like, there's that, but that's never really a big threat to Jackson. It's never really brought up again, that whole horde. Meanwhile, in the show, there's, like, fungus that's creeping in through the pipes, seemingly the water line. It's kind of like the cliffhanger end at the end of episode 1. So during the show, you see them doing, like, some construction and, like, fixing some stuff up. And they find that there's all these roots going through their pipes that they're gonna have to, like, get rid of. And at the end of the episode, which basically ends with, like, the whole dance hall scene and people going home after that, which turns out in the show is a New Year's celebration. The whole dance hall scene with Dina and the stuff there. After that, there's like a close-up camera shot on like the roots that are growing mushrooms at the end. And that's how the episode ends, on like a cliffhanger. So, like, as a casual viewer not playing the games, it would make me wonder, like, oh, does that mean that Jackson is going to fall? And that this is going to be like the inciting event for like Joel and Ellie to go out on like a different adventure? I know that that's not the case from, like, playing the games. Unless they do make Jackson fall, but... I mean, I'm pretty sure after the events of this game, like, the characters go back to, like, Jackson or Jackson-adjacent area anyway, so, like, would they make Jackson fall? Is that a thing that you think that they would do in the show? Just to be, like, different or something or other? So, like, that is very much teased at in the show, with there being, like, a threat of, like, the cordyceps are finding their way in and stuff. So that was a big difference that I noticed. And, I guess we'll see what they do with that in episode 2. Maybe it'll lead to, like, a whole bunch of mayhem around Jackson in general that leads to maybe a bit of a more natural sequence to, lead to Joel's death with Abby. Unlike the, game where it's like, yeah, all this stuff just kind of happened to happen together to lead to his death. Like, Joel and Tommy not being careful when historically they've been, like, really careful and, you know, done, like, really awful things to survive, and now here they are just like openly sharing their names and being like completely trusting of the stranger group. The whole horde appearing at such a time that it forces them all together, stuff like that. Like, maybe it will maybe it'll all come together in like a different way compared to the game. Maybe, we'll see. What if zombie Joel, I'm just throwing darts here, what, like he comes back after he meets Golfy? Because there's no way they wouldn't have Abby kill him. Like, presumably that's still gotta be like the way that they're gonna go and stuff, right? Where the hell did you go? Someone jump me now, please. Yeah, I swear, when I was playing part 1 for the first time, stalkers were like the scariest thing. Now they're just like these nerds that I deal with by baiting out and stuff. I think there's just 2 left. Oh, there's 3 left. Okay, well, that's a pain in the butt, isn't it? There's a lot of them here. Hey, get your butt over here. I hate you. Anybody else gonna try and jump me while this is going on? Nope. Apparently not. So yeah, we'll see what they end up doing with Jackson. And there was also like some more build up and context like into the themes that didn't exist in the original game. No, I mean, he's zombie, then Abby kills him and Ellie doesn't know, so she goes vengeance mode, but that also has narrative problems? Yeah, it would. Yeah, we'll find out next week what they end up doing. Next week on The Last of Us Season 2. Get your butt over here! That's not even who I was trying to attack, but like, hey. I still haven't eaten my one hit that I know that I can eat. I'll eat one hit and then I'll use a med kit. I'm just so good at video games. Okay, I've actually gotten really used to my keybinds now. It's great. Hey! 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 Get out of here. I think there's one left. I suck. And then I can like take my time here and go around looting everything. Not worry about, you know, having consumed any of my ammo or anything. Hey! 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 Get your butt over here. Also, stalkers seem a lot scarier in the show. At least like the one that we've seen so far. Like, the stalkers, like, they sort of hide in this. They do, like, the generic kind of cover thing. The one that went after Ellie in episode 1 of the show just straight up, like, hid in a box and, like, emerged from it slowly.
Anyone else?
And that. Oh, well, there's dialogue, so I guess I got everyone. Cool. Alright. Yeah.
How do I get out of here?
Shouldn't be as difficult to deal with as when I first encountered stalkers in part 1. I was like, what the heck? How do I deal with this? I know how I deal with this bullshit now. Ultra Instinct Ellie? Well, a show doesn't need enemy AI. That's true. That is true. But imagine if, like, stalkers were hiding in a... I thought I heard footsteps there. It's something like that, and then they emerge. How spooky scary. But yeah, anyway, in terms of, like, other stuff that the, show added, there was a little bit more context that was added in terms of, like, following some of the themes. So I already mentioned, like, the stuff that was going on with Joel and his therapist that I thought was pretty good. But there was also an interesting scene between Joel and, I forget what her name is, but Tommy's wife. And, so it seems like Joel is kind of, like, heading some construction in Jackson and helping get the city running better and stuff like that. And what's her face? I don't remember what her name is. She's like, hey, we need to build faster. And it shows, like, a clip of some of the scouts going out, taking back, like, a bunch of people on, like, a cart, a whole bunch of refugees into Jackson. So, like, you kind of understand the reason why, like, they need housing for more people and stuff like that. So Tommy's wife is like, hey, we need to build faster. And Joel's like, you see, there's this little dial that you can turn that, like, immediately increases productivity. And he's kind of, you know, giving a little bit of pushback here. And it kind of shows the dynamic between the two of them, where he's like, hey, you know, we should be looking after our own first. Like, if we can't look after our own, then we shouldn't be taking in everybody else. Whereas she is very much like, hey, we should be doing what we can for others. And that is very much, like, sticking true to Joel's character, when it's like he put Ellie's life above the lives of all the Fireflies and all the potential people that, like, a cure could save. So that's very much him looking out for his own, but now in Jackson. So you see him, like, sticking true to his character in a different way, like, further exploring that. Whereas, like, let's look after our own first before we consider bringing anybody else in here. We can't just be bringing other people in here and then figure it out later. We gotta make sure that, you know, our people are good first. Can I use one of these? I can. I have a bunch of trap mines. Let's go ahead and make another stun bomb then. So I'll grab that. Give me this, thank you. And then, like, when he's on his way out, she says, like, you know, Joel, one last thing. Like, you were a refugee once, too, that we brought in here. And, you know, he just kind of acknowledges that and walks out. And I thought that was kind of, like, an interesting exploration of, you know, these conflicting ideas and very much Joel, like, sticking true to his character and stuff. I thought that was kind of interesting. Let's just see here. The whole, like, dance hall kind of scene was pretty much the same as in the game, which, you know, I know we haven't seen it in the game yet, but from what I remember of the game, it's basically the same. A lot of the lines are even the same. Like, camera angles, like the very opening camera angle of that scene is exactly the same. A lot of the lines are probably the same. Like, they might be slightly changed up because I knew roughly what they were about to say. I don't need a hint, I'm exploring. Give me time here. Wait, unless I actually need help to find my way out of here. I'm pretty sure it's just this anyway, though. I'm out of here.